What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Millzy back with Hometown Commander. We're back for some more Brawl gameplay. This time we're doing Standard Brawl. I'm trying to get some Standard Brawl videos done before we hit our rotation with Dominaria United releasing. So all of these Brawl decks that I'm playing are decks that I've already had together or decks that I didn't have to spend very many wild cards to create, especially with rotation coming up. I didn't really want to craft any cards that I didn't think I would use in Historic Brawl format. So this deck here is newer to me. This is something I've made just within the last week, and I've been playing it. That is Raffine Brawl deck. This is pretty much a mid-range list. We're looking to gain advantage through attacking, getting that connive train going, and getting value. This is definitely a deck I want to make in Historic Brawl, but I figured why not start in Standard Brawl, see if I can get kind of the strategy of the deck down, get the idea of the deck down, and then work my way into Historic Brawl. So that's kind of the plan here. So we're going to play some Raffine. As I try to talk about every time I record one of these videos, Raffine's definitely a commander I've considered for commander. I actually have a list I've been working on with Kamiz, one of the commanders from the decks for Capenna. I think I like her ability a little more, and it's a deck I've been playing around with. But let's play some Raffine Standard. We got turn 1 Paladin class, which seems kind of interesting. Try to cut down on the removal that we're going to see. We're playing against Tamiyo, which is a deck I've seen from time to time. We see a turn 2 Fairy Vandal. That's going to be good because this will allow us to turn 2 Fairy Vandal into a turn 3 Raffine, which I think I really like. Or do we Ledger Shredder? I think we Ledger Shredder instead. Ledger Shredder seems like it might be a little bit better, so let's do that. Ledger Shredder, a.k.a. the Bird Lawyer. Getting that working. It's a good card, and it puts in a lot of good work. No idea what that even is. Oh, puts it back in my hand. Classy stuff. Do we dump it back down and then try to go into Raffine the turn after? That's what I think I'm going to do. We still want to get a creature down for this. Okay, so they can't, so they're going to draw. We have their protection on the march. We do have the Spell Pierce mana open. We can Spell Pierce their commander, which I find kind of interesting. Let's see if that is something that comes up. We'll Spell Pierce it. So we'll fight their returning it back to my hand with a 1 mana counter spell, which is kind of interesting. But Spell Pierce just hits a lot. We'll dump Raffine and start swanging. We draw up Swamp. I guess we'll pitch the Vandal. Get that extra piece of power. We'll play the Swamp for turn. That way we're not completely down on mana. Kind of sad here. We don't have the mana to keep the Interceptor up, which kind of stinks, but that's okay. We do that. I think it's the Silencer. I really like Reservoir Kraken. So I can't play the Vanishing Verse, which is fine. It's until your next turn. Okay. Do we leave this Interceptor up to counter the Tamiyo? Is the question I'm asking myself. Ledger Shredder attacks. This is a really bad block for them. So let's do that first. Conversely, I could attack with both. And Raffine could connive up to a 3/5. But I think I'm just going to have Ledger Shredder attack here. We got to be a little bit safe. We'll pitch the Underdog since we can play it from our graveyard. I want to keep this Interceptor up because this is a really great counter spell. Being able to return a target spell to its owner's hand. So if they go all in on the Tamiyo here, we can Interceptor to stop it, which I think is my plan. Okay. The only bad part is we're going to have to respond to this trigger if they play something that's 4, but I doubt it. Okay, so Hawken flipped. We see a consuming blob. What does Consuming Blob do? We're going to Interceptor. We'll pitch the Aspirant. And we're going to return this back to the hand. That was a big tempo play. Yeah, okay, and they scoop it up. Yeah, that's a massive tempo play there, which really came out in our favor. I was kind of hoping to do it on Tameo. I actually don't know what Consuming Blob does. I was a little mad it didn't let me see it. Maybe I just clicked the wrong button there. Who would have known what Consuming Blob did? But I figured if they're going to pay the full 5 mana for it, it's probably worth intercepting there. So I like it. What I really like about Raffine is it kind of plays this mid-range value with a little bit of control. So I like that because it allows you to kind of get your attack strategy in, but still have a little bit of control to stop your opponents on the back end. So let's see what else we get. We see an Adeline deck. Just finished playing one of these myself. I kind of think I need another lane here. Okay, turn 1 Evolving Wilds into black, I guess. Then we have the Heart Stabber. Okay, I don't mind that. We'll play the Evolving Wilds, and we'll crack it on their turn. We'll just crack this now. I think we're gonna go get some black since we have a Ganja for the white. We'll play the Heart Stabber. Oh, Raffine's Tower coming in at the worst time. So Adeline, I guess, growing for some sort of vehicles list? Interesting. Do I play the Raffine's Tower here, or do I get the... My gut tells me I need to get Raffine down, so let's do that. Let's attack. They can't block, but this will get me the Connive. We see Henrika. I like the Kraken, because it'll help me with blockers. But I don't have the double white for the Adeline, so maybe we do that. Henrika we might be able to play next turn. Then the problem is this tap land. So we see the Adeline come down. No attacks. All right, is this the time to Vanishing Verse? It feels like it. Let's Vanishing Verse the Adeline away. If we double attack one of them Connives, we would get in for 5. And we start the chase here. And I think I like it. We'll have Raffine Connive. So when Heartstabber gets 5 or more mana values, it goes up. So I have 2 and I have a 3. I don't really want to pitch. I don't really want to pitch Reservoir Quacken or the Demretha, but I guess we'll pitch that and we'll pitch the Fairy Vandal. And we got a land for next turn. We've got the Obscure Charm, which could bring back the Fairy Vandal. Sorry. Multicolored permanent with 3 or less. Can't bring back anything at the moment. I feel like we're probably, I was going to say, I feel like we're probably working for some sort of... Do I want to return it to the command zone? I can do this and bring it right back. So, oh, okay. I thought I clicked no, but apparently we clicked yes. Let's Henrika. And then next turn we can hold up the Voidin. We got the Obscura Charm. I think it's good. It looks good. We're in a good spot. I mean, they could replay Adeline, but they're going to lose a lot to do it. I guess we got to worry about the eventual board wipe here. But the Void Ren can kill... the Void Ren could kill Adeline. The Void Ren can kill this Paladin class if they choose to bump it up here. If that's their play, we can do this on it. And then get in for another good attack. I'd love to dump another spell into my graveyard to get the Heart Stabber up to 4. To get rid of Domnathi. All right, so we see a tenacious underdog. I'm thinking slam this down. I don't know that I want to blitz it. I kind of like leaving both of those up. Let's see if they're going to block with their 1/1. The question is, do I want to get rid of this Paladin class before they untap? Because they can pump it up. I think I'm going to do it. Let's get it out of the way. That way they can't pump it up and pump up their board. I did not read Obscure Charm the way I thought it worked. Oh, that's bad. So they can pump their team up by 2, which is what I expect they're going to do. All right, we'll block the Code Spell Cleric, taking 12. That's bad. So we'll get rid of that. That doesn't fix it. Bummer. Well, hey, we tried. We definitely tried. I probably pitched the wrong cards to the Connive, which unfortunately just becomes the killer part of Connive, is discarding the wrong cards. But that's okay. I think that's, to be honest, that's part of Connive, though. I think that's what I enjoy about the mechanic, is that it requires you to discard the right things at the right times. And I think I enjoy that. That's the reason that I want to make this Kamiz list work and try it out in Commander. Is I think the Connive mechanic looks like a ton of fun. And my hope is that that means that it can come in for a good time. We're playing Halan and Elena, so we'll get the storefront out there. I think we're going to end up being probably a little bit behind, because I need a restoration on turn 2. I think we're going to probably get outraced here. I'm going to try my best to... I still got the Spell Pierce in case they do anything tricky, but I think we're going to end up getting hurt more than I want to. So we get this down. Glasscool Mimic can only come in as a copy of a creature we control, so we can't get anything on there. So we still have the Spell Pierce up. Ouch. I can Obscure Charm something away. If I do this and I Obscure Charm the Ascendant Pack Leader, we end up 1 card down. We don't have access to black. Bummer. Yep, that's it. Man, that sucks. I didn't see that we didn't have access to black. That would have changed a lot. Okay. Well, that's on me, basically, for not paying attention. I don't think I'd take the block differently. In fact, I would probably just not block had I known that I didn't have black mana. But I still think we're going to get outpaced in that game. I think that's pretty much over. I might be able to try to stabilize. Maybe bring a Glasspool Mimic in as a copy of Malevolent Hermit. But that doesn't. I don't think that brings me back in anything. I think that game's probably over. It's just a matter of how much can I try to stop it before it's over. Which is kind of, it's just how one-on-one formats are, right? A lot of one-on-one formats play off of advantage, and the more advantage you get, the quicker. That's what ends games, right? Whereas in a game of Commander, advantage can end a game, but it tends to be advantage over multiple turns that against the whole table. That tends to be the thing. I don't love 2 lands, so we're gonna have to. We see 2 lands again, but we do have access to these guys as lands. I don't have white, but I can still play Toulouse, and I can still play everything else. So I think we Malakir on black turn 1, and then we'll put the Pathway down and get Ledger Shredder out. And then maybe we can get into Toulouse on turn 3 and try to connive into a white source. I think that's my plan here, and this looks like a good hand. This just makes me want to work on my Kamiz deck again, but that's okay. as far as Esper goes, this Obscura Esper color combo, my commander of choice has always been a Layla. I have an artifact matters tokens, a tokens go wide tokens deck, and I have a ton of fun with it, and it's probably my favorite Esper deck I've ever played. But I do think this Connive is just a really interesting mechanic, especially if you can pay off drawing the cards or getting any reanimation going. I feel like it's a really fun way to pay if you can pay it off at all. It seems like a ton of fun, which is what I've been trying to do with it. Connive those big creatures into your graveyard and then reanimate and pay them off. I would have loved to have seen maybe Deserted Beach instead of Shipwreck Marsh here, or seen any of the white pathways here as opposed to the blue one. But that's okay. I think if I can get Ledger Shredder down and then copy it, that might be pretty good. I also think Toulouse seems really good because when you pitch the cards for the Connive, you get them back when Toulouse dies, which makes it really good. I think the difference to me with I don't like Toulouse as a commander because then you have to play a lot harder into this Connive, whereas with Raffine, this just becomes a good piece. Cool. This just becomes a good piece of tech in a Raffine deck, as opposed to standing alone on its own. Are we about to win this because they time out? Oh, okay. They just get it. All right. Well, we'll put the Malkir mine down in tapped. So we're playing Zarek San. I don't know if this is a rogues list. I don't know if this is a black-white ninjutsu list. I mean, this could be a lot of, or blue-black ninjutsu. This could be a lot of different things. I'm kind of intrigued to see what it is that we see here. I guess I am welcoming this Ledger Shredder to get removed, but I think that's a possibility to happen whether I like it or not. Let's bring this in as a copy of Ledger Shredder. I'm now realizing that if they remove this Ledger Shredder in response, this Glasspool Mimic will die as well. So that was a pretty bold play that's going to end up terribly in my favor. Bummer. Well, we learned our lesson, I guess. But they have one less piece of removal. I kind of like the Toulouse here. That's Connive. I guess they could remove it in response, but we still get the Connive. I think I'm going to pitch the Adeline here. I don't think I'll get to the double white. Jeez, how much removal do they have? This is my biggest complaint in Brawl, is you have these decks that just play turbo removal. And I hate it, because in a game of Commander, you'll never this much relevant you will never have this much relevant removal. And this is the one thing I still can't get over to this day in Brawl, is just the divide between that divide between Commander and Brawl, with how much that one-on-one removal really matters. And that probably comes off as sounding pretty I feel like that's probably going to come off sounding pretty whiny. And I'm okay with that, because it's the truth. It aggravates me that we're supposed to be playing a format that's, close to this Commander variant. But, you play a black-white deck filled with removal and you win games. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see what Zarasan's got. Does it have all interaction, or is it actually playing permanents? Put your guesses down in the comments, guys. Is this Zarasan deck actually playing permanents, or are we just playing all removal? Next turn, we'll look to get the Raffine down. I guess. Interesting that we have a stop here on their end step for this long. Baleful Mastery. Cool. I mean, I feel like I might just lose this game at this point, because they've had removal for every single thing I've played. We'll try to get the Quasar down next turn. Try to build some value there, I guess, but it kind of makes me not even want to play it, because it's just going to get removed. And a Lulth. Okay. I'll do this. They can block with one of the spiders, and I'll just, I guess, try to kill the other spider. At this point, I kind of feel like I've lost all my advantage this game. But let's see what the plan is here. Lolth, so they untap with Lolth at 3 loyalty. If I can stick this Raffine, I think this Raffine and this Grizzlax will have good success. I'm just intrigued to see what they're gonna do. You know, what is their plan look like? What do they have in their hand? My hope is they have no removal left, having already played 3 of it. Most Lolth players will +1 here instead of losing the Lolth. Or sorry, 0, yeah, to draw the card. I forgot she doesn't have a plus. We see Professor Onyx. Ouch. So what I said before about having good removal just got way better. Cool. Yeah, I'm just going to scoop this one up. I don't really see a good ending there, and this game's just going to make me even more salty. So we'll move on to the next one. Wow, that was just impressive how much removal they managed to have in one opening hand. So we'll move on. I mean, cool. Okay. And we'll keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving. So I said it in the Adeline video, and I'll say it again here. I'm looking to make all of this week Brawl content. Like I said, we got rotation coming up in about a week, and there's some of these Brawl decks that I want to play. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. But I would love for you guys to let me know in the comments what Brawl commanders you want to see, either Brawl or Historic Brawl. I've got a couple of Historic Brawl decks brewing up, but they're not ready yet. And, you know, I don't have infinite wild cards, so I have to be a little careful on what I use. I think I'm going to scoop. Yeah, we'll do this. Oh, I like this better. Turn 1 offer you can't refuse if it really came down to it. Yeah, I like this one. I have a couple Historic Brawl decks coming, and of course, once Dominaria United comes out, my plan is to make a lot of content. So I hope that you guys are excited. I hope this is something that you look forward to. Let me know if there's anything you want to see from the gameplay, any type of strategies you want to see more of. Last week I put out a video of a draft that I did. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. The draft was a ton of fun, and I had a really good time doing it. But I know that that's not going to be everybody's thing. I know that's not going to be everybody's thing, of course. But it was a ton of fun to record, and I would like to do it again because I had a good time with it. All right, so we see Fable Absence come out. So Dorothy is going to go bye-bye. Question is, do they put it in their graveyard? No, they put it in their graveyard. Guess we'll dump the Quasar down. Try to get Raffine down next turn. I think I need to counter this Dorothea enchantment play. But it's an ability, isn't it? Yeah, it's an ability, which means I can't counter it with an offer can't refuse. Yeah, I've got to let Rally the ranks go. Just gonna probably choose Spirit here. Yep. Can't attack. We can start draining them. All right, so I'm thinking Raffine. And then Dying to Serve. And then hopefully we can get in with Quasar. Do the Connive. We'll pitch the offer you can't refuse. And then we get a tapped token. Okay, so we got this little bit of synergy moving here. We'll try to get this Wedding Announcement down next turn. Start building a little bit of a board. I really like Wedding Announcement. It's probably one of my favorite cards I've seen in Standard in a long time. That, unfortunately, is going to be tough. Okay, so we're going to take the 5/5 here. but we at least block the damage. Okay, cool. Well, we do this. And... oh, yeah, and they scoop it up. I was going to say, we make them sack the creature, and then we're probably just going to outvalue them. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so I tried to also, like, when it comes to the creatures in this deck, I tried to do my best to kind of make it a good mix of creatures that have a lot of value. Like, one of my favorite creatures that I would put in this deck in Historic Brawl would be, like, Rankle. You know, something that comes down and deals with good value, and it has haste. You know, same thing with Henrika, and I think if I ever built Raffine in Commander, I would do the same thing. I'd try to pick those 2 to 4 mana flyers or creatures with really good abilities that you can kind of put down and get good value from. I like this hand. We have access to all 3 of our colors with this storefront. We have access to Vanishing Verse on turn 2 if I go get a white with the storefront. And we can put that Bright Climb down on the black side. Or we'd have access to the Swirling March if we want to do that. I think I might Toulouse before I Raffine here. Oh, we get a scoop. Cool. Well, I didn't really earn it, but I will happily take the win. I'm trying to get to the last couple Mastery Orbs here. We only got a few days left of the Mastery Pass for Baldur's Gate, of course, because we have Dominaria looming on the horizon. So there, I think, you know, we leave up the Vanishing Verse, go into Toulouse turn 3, and then maybe Raffine turn 4. The bad part about the Prismatic Bridge is you kind of be careful. You know, the Prismatic Bridge plays this play line where, you know, you want to kind of... you'll kind of want to be careful. You know, we know 5 mana is that tipping point, right? 5 mana is that point where they're going to play their big enchantment, so we want to do our best to push them off of that, you know, push them off of that plan before they get there. But all right, we see all 3 colors. We see a Kaito, which is kind of fun. So we have a Kaito turn 3. I think I like this. I kind of want to Seagate turn 1. It leaves that Clearwater pathway up in case I need to do it for something else. Takenuma, to be honest, don't think I've really ever played it for its... oh, and our opponent scoops it up. What I was going to say was, Takenuma, I rarely ever play for its channel cost. It's just a black land that has the ability to be played for its channel cost. Man, this is really saddening. I've been wanting to... I want to play these games. I don't want to just get the wins, but I'll take the wins. I mean, obviously, you get good rewards for your wins. But I don't think 2 opponents scooping in a row makes me look very good on the video, right, guys? But I can't remember if I said it, but put some recommendations down in the comments of what you guys have for what you guys want to watch me play. I don't have a ton of wild cards, but I have been playing since Arena came out, so I do have a lot of legends from over Magic's time on Arena. I'll be doing my best to do some drafts and stuff like that for Dominaria to get as many of the cards as I can, and I'll be recording those drafts as well. But hopefully we can find some cool stuff to do, and I'll be making, hopefully, a ton of Brawl decks for Dominaria as well. Alright, so we see the Faithful Mending, which is a good draw spell. We see the Tenacious Underdog. Okay. I kind of like the idea of doing this turn 1. And that gives me the option of doing either the Underdog or the Mending, depending on what I draw. We'll draw Storefront, so let's get the Tenacious Underdog down. That'll start putting some pressure. And we can do this turn 3 to get Raffine down. Which I think needs to be my play. We'll go swinging. Get that Connive going. We draw a Wedding Announcement, which is perfect. I think I'm going to pitch the Offer You Can't Refuse. Becomes a 4/3. And then I realize now that I would have to Storefront next turn and it'll come in tapped. But I think what I'll do is I'll go get a black for that Henrika. And then we can put this Wedding Announcement down and start farming the value off that. We probably see the Toski this turn, I would imagine. But that's okay because... oh, no, we don't. All right, so let's storefront here. We'll go get the Swamp because I want to be able to play this Henrika. They're holding. They could be holding because of the Faceless Haven because they do have enough. They do actually have enough snow mana to do it, or they could have a card in their hand. So we'll see. I say not much removal in mono green here, especially not with a 1/1 Prosperous Innkeeper as their creature. I kind of like the wedding announcement here. Start getting some value on board. You know, as a mono green deck, they're okay, and they scoop it up. I was gonna say, as a mono green deck, they're gonna try to go tall, and I think the only good game plan we have, right, is to start going wide. We attack with Raffine and Tenacious Underdog there, and I'm gonna put the counters on Raffine, and hopefully we just start amassing good value. All right, guys, we'll do 1 or 2 more games here, depending on how long they go. But yeah, Raffine's a deck that I've had a ton of fun with. It's teaching me a new mid-range strategy, which I really enjoy. I'm used to playing a lot of the Gruul or Selesnya strategies. I don't play a ton of Azorius or Dimir, which is why I think that this Raffine style is a ton of fun. You know, I really like the connive mechanic. I just haven't really, like I said, in Commander, I haven't really figured out a good way to do it, other than just connive away big creatures and reanimate them. You know, I haven't quite figured that out yet, so it's definitely something I want to play around with a little bit more. I guess the question becomes, do we ever go back to Capenna? Who knows? But I think there's a lot of great draw spells and discard spells in blue and black, so you can take advantage of dumping things into your graveyard. You know, there's a lot of cool strategies there. So, pardon me, whether it's the Kamiz list that I've kind of messed around with, for the old head-to-head episode that I kind of have continued to tinker around with, or I've had the idea of like trying like Raffine Dragons, seeing if it's something that I could make an Esper Dragons list out of. Who knows? I just think it'd be fun to try and make it work. All right, we have all 3 of our colors. If we go get the island off the storefront, we would have Infernal Grasp active. We'd have a turn 3 Raffine. I think that's what we'll do. We'll go get our blue here. We'll go down this on the white side, or this on the black side, turn 2. I guess conversely, we could put it on the white side and go get Raffine. Do I just get rid of this Valentin? I kind of want to. Let's do it. Just because I kind of want to see what else they have. I feel like this is a deck that relies on Valentin, so I kind of want to see what else they have. All right, we see the Henge Gate. Let's put it down on the white side. Let's try the Silencer first. Get something for Raffine to come down and buff up. Okay, we see the grass, but we still get the connive. Is it Lisa? I really don't want to pitch a land because I feel like we want to get it. But Lisa's really good. I think I'm going to pitch Lisa there. So next turn we could play Adeline. We could also play Raffine, but I feel like either of them are great candidates for some removal. Put this in tapped. We'll play... Oh, can't play that, so I guess we'll play the Raffine. Next turn we'll try to get this Dying to Serve down. But again, I expect some removal here. They're going to have to pay a lot of mana to do it, though. We see a Murder, so all 4 mana to do it. Hopefully we're getting rid of all of the removal that they'll have. All right, let's get this Adeline down. Maybe we can replay the Raffine next turn and attack with it. I'm still trying to figure out where they're going with this. Ah, that's where they're going with it. Oh, they don't... Interesting. They don't make the spiders, which is what I was expecting. Do I Dying to Serve and Wedding Announcement? Or do I play the Raffine? I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to set up. If they're not going to bother to... If they're not going to bother to set up, I'll try my best to prevent their Lolth from actually making them tokens, right? Even if they wipe the board here, their Lolth can't make the tokens. So I wonder where we're going. We have Blood in the Snow mana, for sure. So, I mean, we have to be afraid of that. You know, I expect this is a play on the kind of Dina, Belladros kind of aristocrat's life gain strategy, but I'm just kind of intrigued as to how they're doing it. Can't play both. They have ward, and it says ward 1, so there's no way for them to remove it. Well, we'll both go here. Try to force them to actually block one of them. We'll get the card from Wedding Announcement. We won't get the token. That's fine. Would pitching Kaito give us anything off the... It won't. So let's pitch the Heartstabber and the Pathway. So get rid of the Pest, but our token doesn't die, which is fine. They will gain a life from the Pest, and we'll draw a card at the end. Aspirant. That's great. That'll help a ton. That'll get at least a counter on Raffine. They still can't make the 1/1s. All right, so we're in this weird position now. I feel like we're in a weird Blood on the Snow position for them. They still have access to this. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck their playline is at this point. Okay, so Nashi Moonsage makes sense. We see Henrika. I like the Luminarch Aspirant here. I kind of like the Kaito here to draw the card. Oh, I don't know that I meant to play that yet, but we are now. Here's Downfall in the Aspirant. Okay. All right, well, we swing out. Those two will go here. Raffine will go to face. So this should die no matter what. We'll have Raffine connive. Unfortunately, I have to pitch all 3 of them. But we will get the 2/2. And then we'll get to draw off of Kaito. I mean, that's the block. That's the block I wanted. Because it still kills Lolth. We'll draw a card. We're going to Thalia. And then that's going to flip. Cool. So I expect Henrika to make a Sacker creature, but I'm still not convinced that this is a Blood on the Snow. Blood on the Snow now costs 7, so it's going to cost their entire turn to Blood on the Snow, which was my hope. Unfortunately, I cannot offer. You can't refuse the Blood on the Snow. Maybe that would have been a way to. Maybe that would have been a way to. I could now though if they try to Blood on the Snow. Or I could counter something they try to play. So I could counter the Farewell. If that's what they're going to do. I can counter it. So we'll counter it. This gives us the best shot. We have a giant attack on the backswing. Will Malevolent Hermit. See the point in body laundering. So we'll full swing. I mean, they gotta have something, otherwise they're dead. Yeah, and they don't. Awesome, man. What a great game. Again, I was so expecting of the removal there, but it never came. It was a cool deck though. Like I'm still trying to figure out what Valentin was trying to do. Maybe they just never drew their aristocrat pieces, I guess. I mean, we saw Lolth. I was just surprised that they didn't make the spiders. They never went that route, which is what you would expect against a Raffine, against a Flyers list. But All right, we'll go one more game. We get Kaya, one of my honest favorites to play against in Brawl, because it's always kind of an interesting matchup. No blue. So I think we gotta let that one go. Ooh, we get all of our colors here. Ledger Shredder or Underdog on turn 2. And then we will get Raffine on turn 3. So, okay, I like this hand. This is a good one. We'll put the command tower down first. Just allow me to play Arcane Signet. Let's do the Shredder. It's just, whenever I say the Shredder, I just immediately think of TMNT and the Shredder, you know. Okay. So I do have the option here to go into Raffine and get an attack in here with Ledger Shredder. Do have the option to hold this up. My gut just tells me to go into Raffine and get it started, so let's do it. We'll attack here, connive, pitch the Faithful Mending because we can flash it back. And then we have the Vanquish the Horde in case we need it. We have the Hermit would have been better to probably get down earlier, but that's okay. All right, so they're going to pay 3 for the Infernal Grasp, which I'm plenty okay with. Do I leave it in the graveyard for this Obscura Charm? Is that too bold? I'm going to try it. I'm going to go crazy. Let's try it. Why not? I can't really see myself using the Obscura Charm for anything else. Oh, no. Wait, let's see if I can I see the... Let's pitch Vanquish Swords. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card. Oh, so they could get rid of the Obscura Charm, which would trap, which could now trap Raffine in my graveyard. I did not realize that. I did not realize this was the route they were going to go. But at this point, they're completely... let's go Hermit, Underdog. We'll pitch the Plains. I can't really justify pitching my only spell in my hand. I guess we just gotta go mid range now, without the Raffine. We gotta just play it out. I mean, we can see it. We can see a Kaya here. I would imagine they go for the Ledger Shredder. We see a Lolth. It'd be a good idea to leave a mana up next turn to try to cancel the... Try to cancel this with Malevolent Hermit. Let's pitch the Island, and let's pitch the Launderer. And the reason I want to do that is because I can actually Spell Pierce the Kaya. So if I attack here, they're going to block with at least both of those, which won't be able to kill Ledger Shredder. Yeah, let's force the block. I mean, they're going to do it anyway. All right. So we have the Hermit for the Kaya, and we also have the Spell Pierce for the Kaya. So we have plenty of ways to stop this Kaya from coming down. Which I guess looks like not their plan. Interesting. Ooh, Lisa's really good. I guess we'll get rid of the Spell Pierce, because I'd kind of rather have this Lisa. It's going to be a really good blocker for us. We have the Void Rend next turn. We can get rid of Lolth that way. And then... yeah, no blocks. I think that does us a lot of good. Alright, so Raffine's Tower untapped. Do we Lisa now? I kind of want to just Void Rend this Lulth. It leaves us with enough mana up to stop the Kaya from coming down. And we just swing in here. They probably block it. They don't block it. Okay. So I'm leaving up the Hermit for the Kaya, because they will not have enough mana to pay for the Hermit. I also have this offer you can't refuse. Do we stop the Deadly Dispute? Well, we do now. If you're going to bother to target me with it, we'll do it now. They have to pay 3 now to Deadly Dispute, which they do. Okay, so that's perfect. I've got no problem letting them do it now. We save ourselves another turn of Kaya coming down. Do we take a block here? No, I think I'm content to take the 7. They have no flying blocker now. Oh, they still have this. I can Lisa and still have mana up for an offer you can't refuse, and let's swing with the Ledger Shredder. They'll probably block with that. Okay, cool. Now we get their flyer out of the way. We have 8 in the air next turn. I need to save this for Kaya. That's basically my plan at this point. Because I guess Kaya comes down for the Lisa at this point. We can get this and the Hermit back down next turn. I think we may be in trouble here. I mean, we can try to stop them. It's going to come down to what they have. They have a Farewell. We will offer you can't refuse it. Fortunately, we hand them more mana in the process, but it's what we needed to do to keep our advantage forward. Lisa can block. Underdog could block. But I have to imagine with 4 mana, they have some sort of removal. Oh, Adeline's really good too. We'll pitch the Mind Sense, the Heartstabber. I actually really like Adeline there. It's a really good card. Especially for this scenario where it's going to come down and be a massive thing on the ground. I got to block here, right? And I guess I just got to hope. Ah, they Fungal Cavern. Well, we still block. I mean... Ooh, we see a negate. I love that. So we hold the negate up for the... we hold the negate up for the eventual Kaya. Why? Oh, they want the 1/1 from the Architect. Okay. I don't want to play the Hermit because I want to play this negate on the Kaya. Or a board wipe or whatever they might have. Oh, my phone is apparently blowing up. Alright, time for the negate. And they do not have enough to replay it. And I'm threatening lethal in the air. And all they can do now is draw a card in the dungeon. I've got some great blockers. I have lethal in the air, so they have to figure out a way to get rid of one or both of my flyers. Alright, so they go for the draw card. I imagine they're trying to get rid of some removal. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not even going to block there. I don't really even see the point, and we squeak it out. Man, I love this deck. This deck is a ton of fun to play. Always get good games in with it. Always have fun with it. But thank you guys so much for watching. That was my Raffine Brawl video, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.